Yeah.
There you
Okay.
go.
All right. All of you, welcome. We are discussing for the last more than an hour about our conference, and I just want to give an update, a brief update. So the website is still, Christopher is working on this website. Uh, but Christian is, getting our all the venue, all the accommodations, hotel prices, and Gerd and Laszlo, they are all part of it. And Laszlo is doing the publicity and also trying to figure out our sightseeing, other places, because he knows he has been in Hungary. He was born there in Budapest, so he knows that. And essentially, I just want to brief that our about page, again, some of it will change, will contain a way to register for the conference, your name and email. The email goes to Christopher, and you can also donate whatever amount. So let me press that. So you will see this one. When you donate, you will see that. So you can either pay by PayPal, or you can do debit or credit card. So that will help towards the conference and people attending. And we are, as you see the speakers page, again, this will be updated with bio and some abstract. But I myself here, then Christopher, Christian, Gerd, and Laszlo will be speakers, the five speakers. We are also, if you look at the committee, we are, we are the chair, the steering committee, everybody is there, the publicity, local organization. So we are all organized now in terms of who is going to do what. And Gerd will be in general, coordinating some of the aspects among us, but many of us are already doing our part of the job. Then the schedule, as far as schedule is concerned, it's a nice view of the Budapest here. Uh, Again, some changes will be here. Essentially, the keynote address with the Christian roots. So I will start introducing people or welcoming people, and then say who we are, and briefly, like 5 minutes. Then I'll turn over to Christian, who is going to also describe some aspects of the conference, logistics or whatever. And then we'll have coffee break after that. Then Gerd will. So we have chairs also. Like I'll be chairing here. Then Christopher will be chairing the next conference with the presentation with Gerd, Metric Universe. So then after that, Laszlo will present his, and then I will present Supernova Condensate. I have expanded version, but this is good enough for title of that. And after that, we'll have the lunch, 140, according to this, 145, 12:45 to 1:45, excuse me, lunch. So 1 hour lunch. After that, Christopher is going to have the keynote. I'll be chairing that about 120 cell TV. Then we'll have virtual. So these are all in person. These are all in person. So it's a hybrid conference. So these are in person, except for Emmanuel, who will be presenting virtually. So then Christopher will be sharing that, and we may have brief, comment by Andy Valamandas, Dr. Valamandas. So one for about 1 hour, and after that we are going to have the dinner that day and discussions and all that. Uh, but then Saturday will be a little bit more sightseeing, mostly the local regions that with Laszlo we are trying to coordinate this aspect. Could be science museums, local observatories if you're there. Then we can have art, different places or university tours. There's a university right near next to it. So
Rajan,
those
a
aspects will
short
come.
question, please, for Saturday, if you allow. You can continue soon. I see that you planned there 8:30 to 6:50 for sightseeing, which is fair, as the breakfast will end at 8, but we have to do the technology cleanup of the room, and I'm not yet have feedback from any of the hotels if we would pay an extra day for conference, which would be another 4 to 5, 600 euros when our equipment is not off in the same time of the same day. So either we have time to socialize on the evening, or we have a joint clean up, and that would take an hour or two and bring everything out of the room to free the room for a potential conference for others of next day. And I would prefer to have a deal with the hotel to be doing that till 10 in the morning on the next day. So if not 10 in the morning, then maybe 9 in the morning, we would jointly from 8 to 9 after breakfast clean that room completely from our equipment, cabling, light, lamps, beamers, projectors, whatever. And this is not much, but this is not zero equipment either. So a couple of bags will have to be packed and cleaned, and room made ready for cleaning, so that no bill is additionally taken to us. So just please take that in mind when you say you need some preparation time on Thursday arrival in the evening, which is fair enough. Everyone have a tea or a beer and prepare that. And probably the hotel will give that to us for free. But for the cleanup, I'm not sure they give us a second half day for free. It depends on the hotel, of course. But take that into account. That must be flexible time at Saturday in the morning. Thank you.
Appreciate that's an excellent note, uh, Christian Christoph. The see, there is a little bit time uh, Friday evening, but if you want here, it's a little bit flexible. You see that, so we have some flexibility. We can start from 10 o'clock, the sightseeing that day, Saturday. So there is some flexibility. But only thing to be noted, and Christopher is going to change this. We'll have the closing ceremony on Saturday, so that will be pushed to Saturday because Sunday a lot of things people will be having something else. Some people will be leaving out of the like even myself, maybe out of Hungary itself. We have post-conference plans, so this is a larger area of Hungary, but also it could be even outside Hungary, like place like CERN, things like that. We are not fixed anything, so I might go there and then fly out from Switzerland instead of Budapest. So we may be checking out for the motel most likely the Saturday night. So the
You're
Sunday
aware
will
that
be
when you check out typically till 10 or latest 11. And that
yes,
means that from 8 breakfast to 11, you typically stand at the counter, get the billing, and have no time for a formal conference and a meeting, which would then start at 12 when everyone had checked out, if you want plan such a thing. And
yeah,
this
that's
should fit
okay. Yeah,
with, yeah.
so this should be okay. 12 o'clock should be fine. Um, so then everybody's kind of their own, independently, whatever they want to do after 12. It's a post conference. They may go be part of the group to go outside Hungary, some observatories or seismology, I don't know, or CERN or place like that. Uh, it's up to each individual. They want become part of their welcome to be part of the group, and that helps a lot because CERN does. I think I had a CERN site. If I want to see that, let me see. Somewhere I had the CERN. I pulled up. Uh, I think I have to put it again. But the CERN said that they allow visitors, but I don't know. We have to book ahead of time. If I can pull up the CERN thing, um, see here, the CERN, I had it. Uh, let me, what is it? Group booking. So they say, yeah, group booking minimum 12 people. So that's a group booking, but it is free for everyone. So CERN doesn't charge anything. You can be families, individuals, visitors, small groups of fewer than 12 people. So we can use this because I don't know whether how many people will be there.
What do they
So
tell?
we
How
can
many
do
months
that.
in advance you need to tell them? What was written there? Was a lot 5 months in advance? Was there, or what?
That I'm not sure.
It was on the page. Just
Interactive
read on the page. Scroll
annual
up.
visit.
No, scroll up. It was written there. I just cannot read the character. It's too small, the font. When you scroll down, it's written there. My eyes are really good, but not that good. In the middle of
For
the
12
text.
visitors or more, for 12 visitors or more, bookings are open 9 months in advance, and slots fill up in days.
So the
we
booking
may
is
have to
9
go-
months
we are,
available in advance, but doesn't need to be 9 months in advance. Okay,
no, no,
understood.
no. But here we may. I don't think they have put any limit on small groups.
So what I heard from my
Uh,
friends, and I know that CERN from the inside out from my prof, is that you might be disappointed when you go to the CERN visitor center, because you take all the deviation in flying and you see all the videos and diagrams and explanation of the real physicists, and you go in the control room and everything is fine, but you're not anywhere get near the machinery. Not, you see nothing of CERN actually, because you're not allowed to go in the
oh,
tunnel and see anything there. And
it says request a visit for a group. Maybe we have to register here. Group of 12 people or more. That's 12. I don't think we'll have more than 12 people though. So this may not apply to us. Um,
no, that
like,
individual visitors are possible, but don't forget that the CERN is really big in the sense of the ring diameter, and they have more than 100 entrance positions from emergency exit point of view, but only 1 or 2 where you can actually enter. this is this has to be carefully planned, literally. Yeah.
other requests. So we can send. I can send a request.
They have a lot of press contact there. So if you send your name and your doctor degree and so on, that should be no problem. You get a decent answer. What is possible? I would not speculate here on the webpage. You have to talk to them, tell him what you specifically want with your schedule. And you say, while you're in Europe, you would be so famous to see the CERN at least a little bit. What is a one-day package you can go to CERN reasonably? Is the CERN operating or not at that time? If it's not operating, can we go to the tunnel? All these questions you need to ask.
Guided tours is better. They say exhibition, guided tour, public events. Guided tours are better, right?
Yeah, but guided tours they will only do for 12 people on. They don't leave you in just.
Oh,
They need for security. This is a high secure environment. You need to be scanned before you have it's worse than on an airport. Okay.
families. They have families. Maximum 11 people. This should be fine.
Yeah, this is okay, but once again, they don't take 2 doctor degree people and guide you with 2 persons through the CERN. They only do that when you have they are state funded. Yeah, it's EU money. So this is not the problem, but from a pure logistics, I guess that thousands of groups wait in line and they all will prefer the ones where 10 or 12 people are there. What is probably possible is that you get combined with an existing group of that day and you just join, then there are 14 people, not 12 or something like in this group. But they cannot guarantee you that because they need the upfront planning. It's not like in a bar where you come and ask for a beer. It's a little bit more complicated.
A conference of 5 speakers who are all, I may have to change it, theoretical physicists working towards unified, to a quantum gravity
I
and
will not take place.
unified theories.
They
And
will ban you for being a theoretical physicist. They only leave real physicists into the planet. Actually, CERN has a decent physics department for theoretical physicists, but I was amazed to learn how few these are. They are really all operational physicists from typical experts in metallurgy and cabling software, a lot of course, planning infrastructure, money, but only very, very, very few people. These are very prominent ones. So there are a couple of 2 or 3 theoretical professors of physics talking about string theory and multidimensional particle possibilities, black holes, generations, and these kind of things, which is often in
Yeah.
the press.
Actually, I got a favorable thing when I put a micro black hole. Somebody from the CERN, I got like many years ago, I got a positive response that your thing is good. We are looking into that and things like that. So that's something I like to discuss with them. I don't know how far, but they were quite welcoming that. I don't know
Yeah,
at that time,
absolutely. They have
and they put
extremely professional press stuff.
yeah observables something. Okay, so okay, so we like to plan a scientific visit your your laboratory and then experimental, what is it called, platform.
Yeah, well, we call you make a bracket, possibly CMS or Atlas detectors if they are not running or whatever by
Platform
chance.
that have, what is it called, what detectors?
CMS and or Atlas, should they not run at the
Oh,
time we visit?
EMS and Atlas, yes, Atlas detectors. Okay, please let us know if
Atlas is
we
also
have
written in
to
capital letters.
register in advance. Oh, Atlas is, oh yeah, Atlas is a acronym, right?
It's an acronym,
This
yeah.
stuff, I don't know what the heck this is
You
doing.
have to pay, Rajan. You have to pay. Then it goes away. Or you buy a Mac, then it also goes away.
Yeah, it's annoying, I tell you. Okay, Atlas, let me go down. Sorry. Um, all right, so Atlas,
I think you can make that window bigger by dragging at the corner, but
Yeah,
okay.
but it's near done. So let's
Atlas
complete that.
detectors,
It's fair enough to get it
yeah,
done now.
yeah.
register, I'm sorry, register in advance. Uh, our schedule, our conference schedule is planned to occur May 29th to May 31st, and possibly June 2nd to June 5th will be available for us to plan visit to CERN. So we will appreciate if you can let us know whether we need advanced booking um, and any other protocol.
Exactly. That's fine. That I wouldn't write more. That's perfect.
Okay, any other protocol per your what do you call, per your
Procedures or whatever.
requirements. Okay. Thank you. That should be in, right? Thank you. Sincerely, I can PhD.
Did you enter your mail address in the form above?
I put down my email.
Just couldn't see the field, but that's why I'm asking.
The email here, email address.
Very good.
Then I just put a quantum PhD material science. They they want to check something, and then currently quantum cosmologist. Do I have to put my affiliation, engineering interaction?
No,
No,
nothing.
not necessary, right?
No.
independent researcher, whatever. So I think that should be fine, right? Then I
Let
say I am
as
not
it is.
robot.
That's perfectly fine for a visit. Just click the not robot and here
I'm
you
not a robot. Send message.
I'm
So let's see
curious for
whether
next
they will.
week on how that goes. Probably they answer you
Yeah.
already in a very short time.
Okay. So this is the
So
highlight, science
it could be that
news.
it's more
and,
difficult to enter Disney than CERN because the waiting
They seem
queues
to be
in Disney
welcoming.
might be longer.
They seem to be welcoming, but we'll see how. Super quantum, for example. That's 9th April. Sorry. We are not there. The Spider-Man. At least their creativity and originality, they seem to welcome. So that's good. I mean, that's the feeling I got when I was kind of contacting in some way, that they were not putting off or they were not arrogant about it. They were pretty cool about it. So that I think we have fixed this one. Then contact. Okay. So let me bring here contact. You can email again. That email goes to Christopher, and this is the map, a brief map. I think Christian is going to redo a lot of the things in his computer, so you will see update with probably another website. We are trying to get a non-profit organization. We are talking about it, taking it
Yeah, that is
global
purely optional.
sign.
What I really try to nail is that next or latest the weekend after we know what hotel it is really by your authority booked and reserved by a credit card, either of mine when I do the booking technically, or you with your credit card when you do it, because that is not booked. The procedures were, from my understanding, the following: they will not bill it immediately, of course. The billing time is 14 days before the event or something like that, at least in this hotel, which I checked first. And
Okay.
but you cannot retreat from the contract, whether you are sick or not. That doesn't matter. So the non-bed fees for the conference and everything you organized, including catering, will be more and more ramped up from about 50% to get back when you cancel a month before. 70 you have to pay 75% if you cancel a week before, and you have to pay 90% if you cancel in the last day or something like that. But that is typically normal.
Yeah. That sounds normal. That sounds good. Okay, so that's just a suggested accommodation. That's not actually where the conference is going to be.
Sure. We change that once we know. Yeah, this is.
Rajan, before you click away from that, if you go back, don't remove me from the live stream, but if you go back to the website there, thank you. Yeah, this, because when you were giving your intro, the focus was just on you. You know, you were like, it was like a solo presentation, and we didn't get to see you go through the website. So if you just want to show them the donate button, I don't know if you did that on the live stream.
Yeah. I'll show it again. I'll show it again.
Okay. Yes. So
you want to explain this, Christopher?
I think you just type in how much you want to donate there. You know, and all the proceeds go towards the conference.
Yeah. Why not test the donation button right now live, and I do a donation and we see if it works? How about that?
Yeah.
Good idea. Yeah, because I don't. I could have donated to myself, could I? Or would that have caused some sort of infinite loop of money?
So I can see the new page with a new image. I have a total different image right here of a wonderful palace, not the bridges anymore. I'm not sure what you see.
That might be the speakers or the schedule page.
Yeah, that's the speaker schedule. So you changed the images. Okay, I didn't see that before.
Do you want to change? Let me see.
No, it's all right.
It looks really
he's
nice.
Probably going to have to fill in his details and stuff, so he doesn't want to broadcast that, I would imagine. Right?
So the thing is on the contact page, right?
On it's on the about page.
On the about page, okay.
Yeah, the first page.
Maybe you put it on all pages if that is technically possible.
I might do that,
yeah. So let's try that. This is really interesting. So I go to donate and see what happens.
Yes.
PayPal. Donate to Christopher O'Neill, euro. So donate with PayPal, donate with credit card. So I accept and donate with PayPal. And
Okay.
amount is required. I need to type there. Okay. So let's see if that works. Donate with PayPal.
And the other thing I can check then on if I get a donation.
Yeah, of course. So I use my wcw@42.10.de address for a company donation for the tax event. And my password for PayPal. Log in. I will get a two-factor authentication typically at PayPal. Yes, sent by two-factor authentication. Get a security code that worked technically brilliant. Is there? The code is there. So the code is 489125. 489125. Press send. Done. One moment. Please wait. PayPal tags. It still rotates. Now check your identity. Send an SMS. Yes, this is a security measure. So they don't pay just to you because they don't know you. They send me a second question for authentication for security.
Okay.
I authorize the second security question 007606. This is more than fair that they ask twice. This is what I like PayPal for. They're really smart. Yeah, they have not bullshit software.
I use them for publication, everything. I use the PayPal.
So how do you want to pay? My MasterCard, credit card, go on. A message. Hi, Christopher.
Oh, great. You can put messages in.
Hi, text team.
Yes. So,
we start with 100 euro. Start Kickstart donation.
Oh, great. This donations
from 42 times 10. Always supporting physics in the past and making ice-based theory possible in the first place. You rock, guys.
Great. So I have a donation page open. So I should be able to see.
Donate now. So you should get the message. So we can technically check all that. Thank you for your donation of 103.88 euros. Because I donated $100 or something. I don't know what was the thing. I just 100 somethings. Yeah. Got a transaction code, and that's it. It seems to work. Congratulations. So you have your first donation.
Fantastic. Yeah, it might take a while before that. Oh, wait a second. I got it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I got it in live here. Confirmation. Yeah. And now I have the awful thing for you. I want a receipt for official German tax deduction for you. So your homework is to make an official tax.
Yes. No
looking
problem.
paper without having the text. So this is why you need all that. You cannot even take rewards when you don't have an official letterhead and so like a business card. You need to do that.
Okay.
We can, if it is just a mail header looking good with some images or photo or style, so
yeah, no problem.
As a non-profit organization, you don't have the formal rules nailed, but you cannot just write thank you or so. You need to do some formal PDF sending with an ID. And
a donation though, does that technically require a receipt?
No, it does not. It does not. But when I want to deduce the donation because it's a non-profit donation from tax, then I need something for you, or I lose the money tax-wise.
Okay, no problem.
You get much more donations when you have on the side a string. All your donation will be tax deducible due to paragraph so and so of US law, blah, and EU law, blah, blah, blah. And then that is a big win, because suddenly not private persons donate, then companies can donate.
Great. Okay, so I can produce that paper. You might want to talk to further Rajan about the status of the company as a non-profit profit entity.
Yeah. You make to know yourself, make yourself knowledgeable about the US law about that. This is, you're not a lawyer and I'm not a lawyer either, but I have done it for Germany, so it shouldn't be much different in the US. I have heard that in the US it's much easier than in Germany to do that. So just from what I had heard,
I'll find out. I'll find out from my CPA. Anyway, he's going to send me my tax papers in a week or two. At that time, when I reply, I will inquire about the. They're all very busy, but they allowed certain times. Like yesterday, I had a meeting with him, like couple of hours, and I talked about you, about our thing. So he's interested. I said the next maybe in New Zealand. He said I really love New Zealand. I want to go there. I have not gone there. So he will definitely come there if we have a conference, the next one. I will talk in the closing ceremony, or even I may just hint at the beginning of the conference about that we plan to continue half yearly or yearly, different places. And so that's quite a possibility. So he's quite into his father was, we had so much connection from the way I registered my company. It was great. But his father passed away, but he has taken over. And, they were in the U.S. He was in the U.S. Navy. His son is he's a missileer. So they are all military connections. So that's a really good situation. So any tax law, anything associated tax, I consult him because we never know who's going to come after us. But in this case, we are protected by him. So even in non-profit, I'll find out how that works and whether there are any tax things that we have to worry about, what are the loopholes and other things. And then based on that, after consulting him, whether it's good to start another company as a non-profit thing, then once he says, yeah, it's better, and then leave this company as it is, and then we start a new profit company, which will be called, for now, Technet Earth Global Science.
Very good.
Maybe a little bit more homework and a little bit more paperwork, but in the end, we profit from a much long-term perspective. And of course,
Yes.
Christopher, don't get me wrong, you don't need to send me anything from a tax deduction paper. You have a year time to do so, because I will do the tax for 2025 in the beginning of 2026. So don't worry. It's just a formal thing you have to think about. Yeah.
Yes. Well, excuse me. Yeah, I'll be able to create the letterheads and all that. That shouldn't be a problem. But Rajan will be looking into creating the company, which is obviously a good idea. It's a big step. And then when you get that sorted, you can come to me. I will and I will try and get this email address registered hopefully through the university.
That would be a big step forward, because it would look us much more professional in the end.
Okay, so that could take a while. Obviously,
yeah.
We don't have a huge amount of time before the conference. So Laszlo there and really this is mainly to do with getting some publicity for the conference. So I'm just wondering, Laszlo, do you have a more hacky, cheaper kind of solution maybe, or how do you say, more, what's the word that I'm looking for?
Affordable or budget.
Or just, something that would happen more immediately, like more grassroots solution. Maybe some people who could just attend. It could be it doesn't need to be like massively official publicity, maybe, but somebody who's clued in to even the underground sort of something. There is underground science communities. VixRab we were looking at there a couple of months back. I think you were with us as well, Laszlo. But yeah, so that's it. So I'm guessing that that's not the case. So either we will go through the main channels that Christian is talking about, or we will or if it doesn't work out, we can, the conference can still go ahead. with or without the press. I mean, that's perfectly fine.
Once we have a contact to the hotel, we can also pursue the route to ask the hotel unofficially what the hotel has done in the past to get press into the hotel when there was events of other kinds, and we can learn from these internal connection of the people at the local Budapest site area.
Yeah. Additionally, I will go to there's an organization called AAA, American Automobile Association. When I went to Greece, I went there. They have a travel agent who does all the things. So when I went to Greece, we booked everything for packages to go to different places, and they arrange all that. So I'll find out whether they can have a group thing and how it works, how much it costs. I will try to go in a week or two, and then I can inform, and then whether I can people book from other countries like Germany, Ireland, Hungary. Can I book for them also like a group package? So I can get an appointment with them and then talk to the travel agent. Hopefully, they were very, very helpful. 5 years ago, when I went to Greece, everything I did with them, including driver's license and all that, for the Europe and all that, they give a temporary thing for a year or something. So all those things they can arrange. So I want to find out, and they would they have a connection to CERN or place like that, and they rebook my ticket. Sometimes they even do rebooking of airlines. So I have to find out what all things they have now, and whether there is a group package and we'll get a discount and things like that. So that's another thing. I can go probably in a week or two. So I can additionally, you can go ahead and do your inquiry or exploration, whatever possible. And Laszlo also can find out if there is something locally he can arrange for us. So we will see. Anything, Laszlo? Any other updates?
I don't know. Do you know what from the who ran from Shopron? We don't get answer. It's gone 3 days, and I don't know what I did wrong. Did you get the letter? What is your opinion?
No.
What was wrong? Why the director didn't answer it to us?
Well, I didn't get any letter from them. I saw your letter, but they didn't say yes or no. So the seismologist, one of the things you can do is, if you have a phone number, you can try calling them.
Okay, I will give you the phone number. If you will phone them, I think it's better to phone you.
The problem, I think Christian also, there's a lot of, I can put international call, I think, but they charge a lot to international call. If it's a WhatsApp, I can call, but I can put briefly. What I did was they charged me $72 just for Christopher 20 minutes. But I talked to them, the people, and they're going to put, if you put $15, you can do unlimited international calls. So they're going to do that. So instead of $72, I'll end up paying $15. When I come there, that's a good information. You, Christian, you did that. That when I come there, I will put that. I can put it on like a month or two. The $15 I had to pay, but I can do international calls. If you don't have WhatsApp, like I already established WhatsApp with Christopher, so we are texting, and I can call WhatsApp. There is no charge. It's free.
Okay.
So WhatsApp is a very good.
You have right.
Yeah. So we should have, if you, God, everybody, if you can, I already did the WhatsApp with Christopher. We already are doing that. Christopher knows all those things. I sent the invitation to him. Now I think he can send you invitation. Then you just, can I send invitation to you? If you have phone number, I can send invitation to you. Oh, I think I sent to you, Christopher. Did I send to you, Christian? The WhatsApp.
No, you didn't. But I have not planned to put WhatsApp on my primary phone number. This is the business phone number of mine. For security reason, I cannot have WhatsApp there. But I have a second phone with a number where is just the 7 in the end is a 6. This is a number pair. and I put it on my old iPhone. And here I will always format the iPhone after such events, so I don't care if it's infected or not or whatever. So I can install WhatsApp on another phone with another account. And I agree that normally I use Signal, but it's difficult because not everybody has it. The most people indeed have WhatsApp. So we should agree that it's also easier to chat with the hotels if you have WhatsApp, and this kind of thing is more accepted than other standards. Not everybody has an iPhone. Not everybody has Signal, and hence I agree we should use WhatsApp. Yeah.
Okay. So if everybody, all of you, Laszlo, Gerd, and Christian, if you can send me your phone number where you can where you can upload the WhatsApp, I will send an invitation to you.
Yeah, it will take a couple of days because I have to prepare the phone fresh and
no problem. Take your time.
And once I have it, I forward it to you.
Yeah. And God also, you can send your phone number.
I think I already sent you my phone number.
Oh, let me check. I'm not sure. Let me check. So I can send an invitation to you. Laszlo, I think I
will send you my phone number.
Okay, let me check that. And I will send the invitation to you all. So then once it comes, you can activate, and then we can do the chat. Like I do a lot of chat with Christopher, and it's much easier. And also we don't have to worry about the language. Email it's little bit language. It's better to do more professional language. With WhatsApp, we can do couple of sentences or phrases, things like that, as long as we understand. So we can ask for clarification. It's much easier, and communication, we don't, I agree, like writing email is a big task for me because I have to ensure that it is correct, grammatically correct, all those checking and you have to do. Email is more professional, that it can be used for something. But at the same, WhatsApp, you can do your text lingo if you want, but as long as people understand it. Like Christopher has sent me a few texts, and it just worked out very fine. So we can all chat together only when we need official things, we use email. So we can just chat away whatever important things. We don't want to overload anybody. I am also really, the time is a problem. So we want to keep it crisp and to the point, and only when necessary. And I agree with Christian that there is no need for us to get into all these minute aspects. He's figuring it out, and once he figures out, he's going to tell us. That's perfect. Same with Laszlo also. We don't expect too many emails, but you can, send the updates. Especially WhatsApp should be fine. And then Gerd also, and then so all of us can communicate. It may take a week, like Christian said, maybe a week or two. That's fine. I also will take a week or two to figure out from AAA whether we get group package and how it works, and whether they always change. They used to have very nice travel agents. I always like them. They will do everything. Even if you want a book ticket, they will do A to Z, everything. But I don't know how much they do now because the amount of demand is very high. So, but I can find out. I have good relationship with them. And then the two things I had to do, that one and that non-profit thing. I have to talk to my, again, he's very busy because yesterday he gave me time, but then he allows to other people, because he has very people with millions of dollars, customers he has. So he had to attend to them and do the tax. And the company tax is due before March 15th. So that's a very busy time. But they have given me the last 20 years I have been with them. So it should be able to advise me and help us. And hopefully he will join us one of the conferences. So if we have official things, he can get it done through him. In the conference itself, we can signing and all those things. If you want to do virtual classes, World University, and all that, eventually we want to do like Christopher said, Christian also said, we should officially do these things so people can trust and also get accreditation. The important thing is accreditation. If you're doing virtual classes, we have to get accreditation so that people who are taking the courses can get credit. If they go to either other universities or jobs. So like AI, like let's say Christopher and Christian are going to teach AI for people, which is becoming a huge thing now. If it's accredited, that AI they can apply for other universities they want to do higher studies, or they can do for jobs to get job in IT industries. So it's a big deal. So I can do my thing in perception materials or physics, the kind of physics I do. I can teach that. Gerd can teach his electrical engineering or whatever specialty he's doing, the metric unit, all those things. Laszlo also may have a Hungarian part of the geology. So we all have, or automatically we are professors in that sense, or lecturers. We have the credentials to do it, but we have got accreditation. And that's a big thing because I have found that that's the difference between what we have now versus what officially it could. And people pay money; they expect that. Once they pay money, we are to have that. I mean, that's a must. If it's a free thing, maybe it's okay. What we are doing, YouTube and all that is fine. But we can use them. The YouTube we can use in the courses. That's not a problem. But if you are giving classes and they are paying money for it, definitely have accreditation, and that's something we have to look into. And then we can establish
that. I recently completed an end last quarter of the full 3 months of 2024 Q4. I was busy with getting an OT security certification that is basically IT security for labs and manufacturing sites, and it was very much effort. Was about 50 hours of own study plus 6 exam preparation days plus on-site at the university exam training and so on. And it was for a fee of about 1,250 euros or so. That was actually a snap. Normally, these kind of long-running certifications would cost 2,900 euros or more. And I had the luck to get certified for OT security.
Congratulations.
IEC 62443, and this is an IEC standard. This is worldwide. This is ISO and Homeland Security, and all are on board there. And this kind of is my primary hobby business of 42x10. In case you wonder what I'm doing here with my 42x10 company, I'm doing only few IT consultancies these days because I have 2 or 3 customers from the last 40 years, which I don't want it to give off or hang in the rain while I'm stopping primary consulting. But with the OT security topic, I'm now inside my primary Sky company, trying to establish this as a primary position where I'm responsible for OT security for the labs inside Sky. And if I have a chance to succeed in there, that would be good, because then that would be ideal knowledge combination of what is the future pressing problems in actually everything lab. Because when you have an oscilloscope, this is LAN bound, and the oscilloscope might have a Windows 95 UI, and you cannot just update that. What the modern philosophy of IT security is, for example, you have to live with the Windows 95 there and find a solution how to operate that Windows 95 oscilloscope secure, because you have no means or budget or whatever to replace it in a typical lab scenario. So that said, I have to excuse myself. In 2 minutes, I have to leave after 2 hours. I thank you for your time. It was very productive today. I think you please, Christopher, send me 2 or 3 of the images that I still have at least a learning lesson what went wrong with me, that I couldn't reconstruct the site to HTTPS. And the next thing, take please of this $100, whatever you need to do, click the button there and order the HTTPS. And I think that justifies ease me of the work to frickle around with a local copy of the page, because you're doing really well with that, and we shouldn't interrupt the stream of operational work everybody has its own pace, everybody has its own tools, methods, machines, whatever. Do the best what you can do with the tools you know best, and if it is not too much money, and I think we can handle these kind of thing by sponsorship, and we are all better off with that afterwards. Thank you.
That's great. Thanks.
Thank you, Christopher, for fantastic your professional thing, which will help us. I feel more comfortable that, I mean, we had planned with Christopher, but it was more informal. And as a philosopher, I like it, but I agree. Officially, we have to do this, and I really applaud Christians, professionalism to ensure that we are getting the proper things with the stay and conference and other things, IT, especially the IT aspect. So thank you very much, Christian, and we look forward to your all your updates the next week also.
One last word to Gerd. For the traveling, I'm not sure I can go with you by train, Gerd, because would I be the keynote speaker? I have to early up one day up front, build it up, and I think you didn't want to go already on Thursday when I was understanding that properly. Otherwise, you would have to go very early on Thursday by the train. Then train would be suitable. But if I go by Thursday, I have to fly because the Thursday is still a work day, or I would lose the work day. So I'm not sure I can agree that with your travel plans. So, but we can have a one-on-one talk outside for clarifying that. Okay.
Yes, we will call about. Thank you, and I hope. Goodbye. Huh?
Goodbye, all. Have a nice evening. Bye.
Thank you. Yeah. All right.
Ryan,
so then,
Ryan,
the final
excuse
things,
me.
Yeah,
Ryan, excuse me. I would like to ask something. Can you contact with the statewide California Oak Center, someone, and invite him from somebody from them to connect with video on our conference?
I tried. I am not sure because I'm not a geologist, so I don't know how they will take me. But I can find out. I can find out.
But Christopher and me, we have something something connection with the earthquakes, and I think it should be very, very important, this connection, because perhaps we have something from them, and we have to discuss this opportunity.
Yeah, I got a request for recommendation for Christopher from NASA. So they want today. They want. So as soon as we finish, I have to go there because they want before 6 p.m.
That's correct.
So
yeah. That'd be
but
great.
I will try to do that. Yeah.
I already got one with Emmanuel, but I'm still waiting from my supervisor actually. But maybe he will, maybe he won't. But we'll see. Excuse me.
How many you need? How many recommendation you need?
3.
3?
Yes, but it's very up in the air whether I get it. It's actually based around numerical relativity, which is sort of a very niche topic, as you know, with a lot of specified knowledge, and but I'm coming at it from a different angle, more from the artificial intelligence side, which I think makes sense because it is computational after all. But I'd imagine there's some stiff competition in terms of who's going to be applying and what kind of level of expertise and history of publications that they would have. But I haven't even achieved my dissertation yet, in terms of the PhD. So I'm sort of applying early in hopes that I get that in time. And then, so yeah, we'll see on that. I'm not entirely...
What's the buzzword? But can I say artificial intelligence detection of geo anomalies or geological anomalies or geological like earthquakes and prediction? that kind of thing. I can. Okay.
Well, I don't know what it looks like. Like when you get the email and you get a link, I assume, do you click the link and then what are they asking for? Are they asking for?
Can I put it? I don't know whether you wanted the stream end or do you want to?
I assume there's no problem streaming it.
Okay.
You just yeah.
Let me pull up that. I was going through that. Let me see. I think this is the one. I think this is the one. So they are asking my name. See, you are applied for global planetary. Okay. When I click the link, Goddard space, accommodate never available to applicant. They have agreed, but they are waiving the right to see them. Each recommendation can be tailored to opportunities. View opportunity details. NPP deadline 6 p.m. So today 6 p.m. Eastern and I have sent it. Should not serve as reference. NASA. Then I have put my name, title, institution, phone. Then how long and what association have you? If you want to send a brief text, that will be great also on this one.
Well, how long have it's been about?
I have your old recommendation I sent to University of Liverpool. That's all I have information.
Well, that was 2022, but I think we've been going back since 2020, is it?
Yeah, University of Liverpool. I pulled up that somewhere right here.
I think
information I have.
I would say it's about 4 years.
Yeah, so it's an old one.
Well, you don't need to go into it because that's not relevant to this. That was very good though, thank you. But no, that's not relevant to the new. Because the question is, how long have we been associated? Which I think is about 4 years, or it's going back to, like, if I just check the emails. Well, I think it's been going back to like when the
4 years, 2021 probably, yeah.
Probably 21, yeah. So that's
yes,
3 to 4, right? Because it wouldn't have been. It was late.
I'd say about 4 years. About 4 years, I will say.
Yeah, that's fine.
and what association? We were associates, scientific associates, collaborating on various topics, especially the quantum physics, and also anomalies. Yeah, we have a YouTube channel where he has presented, and we have discussed in detail about how we can use each other's knowledge to understand this phenomena. Things like that.
Well, I'm going to put you down as a professional contact, and I actually put Emmanuel down as, but I think, I mean, maybe academic would have been more accurate. But we have like certain, like for instance with this TAGS conference, it's more, and that's a kind of professional thing as well, isn't it? So it's hard to know. But yeah, so all of that stuff, Rajan, that you mentioned is fine. Actually, I think the way you've approached it there is good. So you can.
Yeah.
So
I'm fairly good. I'm fairly good in recommendation. People have got positive things, but I have to. I mean, I have to set up my mood, so then I can really write. But I think it should be okay. I have things like that. 4 years. Let me just give. Then we work together. I just give some, points, work together in applying our future knowledge in quantum physics, astrophysics, then detection of anomalies with geological events. Christopher, there.
We also do work on cosmology and grand unified field theories.
Cosmology.
Quantum mechanics, and even theories of everything. So we put all that in. Hyperdimensional geometry. Those are the main ones, really, from my perspective. Okay, so still looking for this image.
So presented, on YouTube.
So Rajan, did you get a chance to watch the? Remember last week I did a presentation on. It's more of a cosmology thing. The anamorphic cosmology.
I had to redo that. I had to go back and your presentation.
Watch bits of that again.
I had to go back and watch your presentation.
Yeah.
Because you did the readjustment, right? Here I can see that you did atmospheric perspective cosmology. You changed this to that.
I did. I changed the title and I put in an image because I thought, if all our live streams are named conference discussions, I don't think we didn't talk a whole lot about the conference in that live stream, so I decided.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. We already have three good, people are liking this one.
Oh, good. Yes. Well, we got a few likes. Yeah, I noticed. So that's good. So did you have any other questions or remarks on that?
Yeah.
Since you rewatched it?
Briefly. No, I had to watch it. I didn't have a chance to watch the whole thing again. So
okay. Yeah, because I'd be interested. Maybe next week or following week or something we could.
What's your PhD dissertation? We can write down. Is there a name?
Well, it's anomaly detection in space data.
Anomaly detection. Space data. And funded by the European Space Agency, right?
Yeah.
European Space Agency.
That's correct. I'll just get the full kind of title.
Okay, yeah, if you can send that, because I think this will be good because it's official, I know what you're doing, I'm not kidding. I'm not just putting some general things, specific things I want to put. And then we had detailed discussions on these topics that's ongoing to apply a higher level artificial intelligence, technical programming, of anomaly detection real time of Earth events like earthquakes. Then what else? Do you have volcanic eruption? No,
it's mainly earthquake.
Earthquakes.
So I posted it in there in the private chat. It says anomaly detection in magnetic space data for seismic precursors. That's how I'm phrasing it.
Oh, so anomaly detection is magnetic?
Anomaly detection in geomagnetic space data for seismic.
1 minute. 1 minute. Let me get this out. Kind of weird.
Is it spam or something?
Okay. Okay. Anomaly detection is magnetic?
No. Anomaly detection in geomagnetic.
Okay.
Yeah, space data for seismic precursors.
Precursors. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So are these kind of notes that you're writing? Yeah.
Yeah. This will help me to, that I just put the sentences or some rephrasing.
Understood. Yeah, that's good.
With real-time processing, right? To predict.
Yeah, it's sort of down the line.
Real-time processing to predict the next event possibilities or something like that. Which will give will be a breakthrough technology, geotechnology, geo
Well,
detect.
yeah, I suppose at the moment I'm just we're focused on detecting the anomalies of which are seismic precursors. But in terms of the actual prediction, I mean, that's maybe something outside of my current PhD. But I mean, well, it's kind of in there as well, you know, but it's more as a future work, which Laszlo, we're talking about maybe working on that together, sort of a earthquake prediction. You're interested in that. Also, you're interested in the ball lightning, correct? How's that work going?
I have my personal model of interpretation of the surface structure geomorphology and its structure. And another thing, before 2 years or 3 years, in my Facebook, I have an Italian knowledge who made an instrument, very interesting. Original instrument was, but I was crazy because I not made a photograph about them, because I had sent remark to him. He deleted the instrument, and perhaps we can remake it if I will make about what remained in my image. And for this we need someone who is good in electromagnetism, because my knowledge is not so good in this discipline, in this field. Do you understand? I know how is acted the geomagnetic field, all thing, but it should be very important to somewhat to realize this instrument. It's very simple.
Okay.
Is made from rods, 15 rods, I don't know, but it can be tested in more steps. This instrument is made in a circular, and the rods are contacted in center, and in all direction these rods are, and with this he can measure electromagnetic disturbance anomalies. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And I will try, because I have made some copy about the post, but I didn't make photography about the instrument. But if you have lucky, we have to make contact this person. He's an Italian. He's an Italian, and perhaps he will ask if we told him why we need this instrument. Mm-hmm. What is your opinion?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea to contact him about it. Yeah, I'm sure you have the reason why you want the specifications of the instrument already. You know, you're justified to ask that, presumably, if that's where you want to go with the research. I'm curious, so what is so can you speak freely about your idea, or do you have to wait until the paper is written, or what? Because like the question I have is, it would be more to do with your theory, like what is it? You're talking about a morphology. So what is? So if you can speak on that, I'd be interested. Or
And I understand.
Idea.
But one thing is another thing is very important. We don't have copyright about my concepts, because my concepts it wasn't presented anymore in any place, because that is in connection when I was fired from my job after my publishing my philosophical book, and and there is my philosophical book. That was the the problem.
Oh, give us a look.
And I propose for,
again?
and another thing,
okay.
I would like to propose this book for this organization, for our organization, to translate to English and for our organization to get some money from it. What is your opinion?
It's great. Can we see the cover again? I don't know if that's possible.
But I don't have in a computer, because when I wrote it and published it in 1995, the computer was broken, and after that the file was lost. Lose. I lost it. I lost the file.
Oh, so how are you?
Where it was, and you see on the ResearchGate, I have put some parts from the book. Only 2 parts is put on the book, but this book it can be written in other form, because in case of electromagnetic gravitation, with introduction of the a priori entity, this philosophical concept was enlarged, because the physical problem in the book was appropriate from ideology only from one side, only one side. And in case of in case of a priori entity, we can approach from other side. If we can got a dualistic vision, and that is very important, as it's very important in case of earthquakes too, because the phenomena of earthquakes not works only with one situation or only one side. The majority of the earthquakes concepts only one side appropriating to this phenomena. Do you understand? Only one side. The earthquakes phenomena and all natural phenomena have to be approached from two sides, dualistic form. Do you understand? It's again is connected to the Chinese ancient philosophy, yin yang. As that is very important.
Okay, it sounds like maybe it is part of your philosophical concept, which you know, I would need to understand more about it before I could fully comment. But I get the general idea, but I'd need to know more details. Like
it's very this ideological concept. The main content is the equilibrium. Everything is created, only can be remained if it is in equilibrium with itself and with the outside. Do you understand? It is anything and any existence only exists when it is in equilibrium with inside and with outside, with its medium.
Yeah, that's interesting. And makes sense.
And that is interesting. I don't know if I can remark correct yeah. That this book is somewhat is a philosophical, natural philosophy system, natural philosophical system.
Yeah. Can you hold up the cover again, or is that possible? Can you? Because I get the name of it. Esme. Is that right?
Oh, that's this is an ideal. If we translate in English, that is mean ideal, and it is interesting that this name from English vocabulary, from English real term, it was what it was get out before 20 I don't know 2000 years ago. This term was in English vocabulary. You have to try to look in ancient around the ancient words, because before 2-3 years ago I found it, but again I made mistake because I didn't copy it. I find the term, this term.
Oh, okay.
You have to look for it because the ideal not so good for expression, and myself again I made a mistake when I have given the name of the book. The real name have to be Esme. I will write only on that is the better name, and this is closer to the ideal. This is the word.
Okay. Yes. What does it mean?
If we try it, that is mean ideal.
Ideal.
But you have before you have better words for it, but actually you don't use it.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Perhaps if you will try to find it, you can find it with artificial intelligence, because it's easier to find this word.
Well, what about this? If we look,
you have to type in for artificial intelligence the name of ideal, and ask what name, how it was pronounced before in ancient England.
Oh, okay. So, well, what we do have is, the word ideal, which in the dictionary is satisfying one's conception of what is perfect, most suitable. But then you have the thesaurus, which would give different words like perfect, best, possible, supreme, absolute, complete, copybook, flawless, fruitless, faultless, so and so on and so forth. But you're saying that there was a word that we used to have a word in English, I presume, and there was a different way of pronouncing the word ideal in English.
And another thing that is somewhat has connection with the concept of the Platonic and Socrates concept, and in the other side with the Hegel ideal concept, because Hegel has a term for such a term. He pronounced that the absolute idea.
Ah, okay. And
Hegel. Hegel at the Chinese somewhat there has used something similar with under the name of Tao.
Oh yeah. Do you know this author? Obviously, Goethe's conception of knowledge and science. Or Goethe.
I didn't saw this book. Never. What you hold in your hand.
Yeah. So there it is. I'm reading this at the moment.
Never see this book.
So do you know about Goethe and his conception of science? You might be interested in that because he's not so it seems to be that in the history of science there was Newton's conception of knowledge, and then Goethe had a different conception, which was you could talk about maybe Newton thinking about things in terms of particles, and Goethe thought that this was not a good way of going because it relied on a kind of theoretical approach that we couldn't actually see the particles, so it was problematic in his mind. So Goethe was more interested in the relations between things. So for example, his theory of color, he was interested in the relationship between one color and the next, lightness and darkness, and how that affected colors and sort of the contrast between them. But ultimately, I think his philosophy goes deeper than that. It's more about reproduction, like how the universe reproduces itself. And that was really what he was kind of most interested in, I think. And this concept of morphology. So so it's not a bad book, but it doesn't go into detail about his theory of colors or any of that. But I was going to bring this up while Christian and Gerd were here, because obviously Goethe is German, so they might have had an opinion on his work. I'm not sure what was his full name. Is it just Goethe or is it her? I've forgotten his name. But yeah, so it's more linked. It's a lot of linked to philosophy, and that kind of thing. Although there is a lot of he's obviously linked to a lot of physicists and had his opinions there. So it is more physics than philosophy, but some would argue that it's possibly a mix of the two. There's a lot of German terms in this, like Gestalt, and Bildung is another important one, which stands for form or formation, shaping or constitution. And Gestalt is obviously, again, form. So that kind of goes back to what you were talking about, ideal forms and things like that, which I'd say Goethe had some conception of, and he works it into his philosophy a lot, that there be ideal forms of plants and things like that. I think he goes into that.
At me, the idea is very simple. Only is connecting to the equilibrium, and that is why with this type of approach to the natural phenomenon lead me to abandon the formation of the universe from the Big Bang, because in case of the Big Bang, it have to need the idea formation of the world, and such a things. If we are thinking in with the head of the universe, such a things we cannot find. Do you understand? Not the universe have to have its own idea. Do you know? And what kind of this equilibrium was needed to create the universe.
Oh yes.
The universe have to be in this book. The universe is concepted. Such a thing the universe is in creation and in disappearing. The universe is creating, but same time is disappearing.
Yes.
It continue changing.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Yeah. Yes. True. So
that was another problem in case of this book.
Oh, this idea of where does this disequilibrium come from? Or, I mean, we kind of we know the universe is in equilibrium, but so therefore it shouldn't exist, kind of issue. Yeah.
And that was and do you see that I am a Catholic, but
yes.
But that is in contrast, is in contradiction to the Catholic preach.
What is in contradiction?
Because this universe is not created, is existed in God.
Yes.
It's somewhat with religions from India, because Ryan knows this better like me.
Yes, Rajan would be the person to talk to you about this. All right. But just on the issue of Catholicism, I would know quite a bit as well, because I'm also a Catholic, Roman Catholic. So, yeah, are you Roman Catholic or?
And another thing, if I type again this book in computer, everyone can attach his work, if it's his work, because it's not in contradiction with anything, because accept all things, if is good, if is it erroneous. Do you understand? Because its main concept is ideal, and everything, the creation of everything what exists in nature is not we cannot accept about them that they are correct. They are absolute well made. That is, and in such a case, the Darwin ideology come inside. That all cases, the better beings can survive.
Okay, but why don't you think that the universe could have been created by God, or why does it have to be inside God or something like, or not created?
And another thing. Okay, excuse me. I will go with another. Only for 1 minute to another thing. You have presented something last time, and I think if you have opportunity to make your work, for the example, for the Jupiter, you made a projection for a far thing. And you can test your work in case of Jupiter example, because in this case you have to get some better result. You can get a bit better result in such a case. Did you think such a thing?
Well, so you're talking about my cosmology work, are you? Where
yes. What you had presented last Saturday.
Yes, that's right. So we have the hypersphere, and all of the galaxies are on the hypersphere, and then they get
this work you have to try in case of Jupiter.
But okay, I think
example, you can try for Pluto or Mars. That is not containing.
Right, because if you think about it, so the idea
is
that,
and you can verify it in case of the sun?
Possibly. I'll just explain, Laszlo, a bit so we're on the same page. So the idea is that as we sit in the universe on Earth, if we look out into the night sky, let's say with telescopes, we notice that all of the galaxies are redshifted, and the further away they are, the more redshifted they are. So the idea is that there's a hypersphere, and all of the galaxies are on the hypersphere, and the further up they are, the more when they get projected down onto the tangent space.
I know what you did, but in case of the galaxies, the problem is the case that the 2 points from you get the information. This galaxies is so far that these 2 points, we can conclude that is in a sense it is a single in 1 point, because this galaxies is so far from us, and in such a case that is a problem for your projection.
Well, not so much, because the purpose of my work, my research, is to find the absolute distance between us and those galaxies, but to do that, I have to find the radius of the hypersphere, which is actually really difficult. So we once we find that, so it's a little bit confusing. It's like, which comes first? Can I find the radius, and then can I figure out the radius size from the redshifts or from the angular distance? There has to be something that will allow me to find the radius of the hypersphere, and from that I'll be able to find the absolute distance to the galaxies, and in 3-dimensional space, and the distance in 4-dimensional space, which will be a lot smaller probably. We don't know yet. And that, you know, so that means if you're able to travel in 4 dimensions, then you'll be able to reach any galaxy very quickly. But we don't know the distances involved yet. But if you think about it, if the universe is very large, which it obviously is, but you know, if we're talking about a very big hypersphere, and Earth is like way down at the southern pole of the hypersphere, it's not so much that it's not about how far the galaxy is away, but because of the distances involved, as you said, it will mean that, you know, Jupiter is basically next door to us, so it might as well be on 1 point, right? And same with actually all the stars in our galaxy will all just be sort of squished into like the south pole of the hypersphere, if you like, because it's so small compared to everything else. And that means that there would be no redshift in the galaxy, which is what we see anyway. So that is correct. So if I were to shift the hypersphere ever so minutely, so it sits on Jupiter instead of Earth, or ever so slightly so it sits on the sun instead of Earth, it wouldn't make a difference. The whole thing would look pretty much identical anyway. If I were to shift it from the Earth to a distant galaxy, like, you know, hundreds of megaparsecs away, then I argue that the whole universe would look very different. One half of the galaxies would be blue shifted and the other would be red shifted. And that's because there is no relativistic shifting of the hypersphere. It's always stuck on our galaxy. And if it weren't, then it would mean that, well, I mean, you know, someone could argue this question. I'm still working out these details, but it would seem to me that it would mean that the shape of the Earth would no longer be an objective fact. The Earth would be able to transform. It would be able to warp into a flat plane, which means that the flat earthers would be correct from that perspective, or it could warp into a concave Earth, or it could warp back into a ball. So all 3 geometries that are being argued about at the moment would be actually correct. And so that's the trade-off. Either you want either you want relativity in the universe, in which case you cannot decide what the shape of the Earth is, or you say the Earth is at the center, or rather at the south pole of the hypersphere, in which case, you know, then you can lose relativity, but you retain an absolute objective shape of the Earth. And so those are the two trade-offs. Either you have flat Earth, or you have, you know, I'm being hyperbolic here or inflammatory. You know, if we were to boil it down, you could say either we have flat Earth or we have a geocentric universe. So those are the two options. But obviously, with the flat Earth, you also have concave. And
but in case of universe, when we have such a big distance, the projection outside can be considered like flat image, because the curvature of the sphere is a correct line, like in Euclidean geometry. Is near such a line, somewhat same.
I think I understand. I think I understand where you're coming from. It's like the Earth is a sphere. Agreed. I would conclude that that's correct. But as we get closer and closer to the surface, the Earth looks flat. But then, so that was a big thing, because we know that through measurements of, I think it's from starlight and stuff from galaxies, that they, well, back in the 90s anyway, they measured the angles, and they found that the universe is flat. Space is flat, I mean. But so there was this concept, well, it makes more sense if the universe is some sort of sphere, if it's contained. So they have this idea, well, maybe the sphere is just very large and we're at a very small part of it. And that's possible. But also then the idea of it being a hypersphere was quite popular, because you can bring in more of like Einstein's space-time.
And another thing,
before we move on to that, so the big question is space curved or is it flat? And I show that in my model, it is both, because the tangent plane or tangent space, which is three-dimensional, is flat, completely flat, and the hypersphere, which is all four-dimensional, is totally curved. And so the two things exist at the same time. So space is both flat and curved in reality, which is interesting from the point of view of, like, you know, these dualistic concepts within quantum mechanics. Is something a particle or is it a wave? Is it flat or is it curved? We see that when we get up to large scales, like vast cosmological scales, those dualistic points come back in a different way, and we can say, yes, it is both flat and curved.
And in case of the a priori entity, and yes. I don't know how is it the term of the universality of the universe, because there is, I formulated a term that it's something similar with the Lyell idea of actualism, because I answered that all physical phenomena is the same on every dimension, in micro dimension, in elementary dimension, quantum dimension, and in a global, in a cosmic dimension. Only in their happening exists difference. I formulated better, but I didn't. It is present on my ResearchGate publication. It's only few sentences. And what do you think about this?
Where is it on your research?
Excuse me, because that is a very, very important principle, and I think this is works. And if we accept this principle, we have to put in quotation if because it is wrong formulated, that is we have to abandon it. But if it is correct, we will have another concept of the universe, multi-universe.
Oh, because all of these dimensions are the same. They're all the. Sorry, Rajan, what's your opinion on that? Did you follow that? Or would you have to
I
see?
got some of it. I'm listening, but can you repeat that a little bit more?
Yeah, Laszlo, could you repeat that?
Okay, I will try to find and I will read it. Okay.
Yeah, great.
Okay.
You can even share your screen if you want. It's up to you.
Immediately, I will.
Oh, by the way, Laszlo, I don't seem to get your phone number, so if you can text me.
Okay, immediately it's here.
So, yeah, Laszlo, do you know how to?
Yeah, I have wrote the title is a principle of uniformity of physical phenomena.
Okay.
And you can read it. What I have put it in last week, December. It is not well written down because when the ResearchGate changed the projects, get out the projects, it lost the better formulated form that projects gotten outside what it is before 2 years ago, exactly in March.
Yeah,
do you know?
I remember they had projects and then they got rid of them, yeah?
And that was my problem too, because I have my graviton project put on this project, and that's why I don't have it now. And in this project was present this principle in better form formulated.
Well, we've got. So if I just share my screen on this, then.
And if you have something objection, or you can give some better formulation, because I have used this principle in case of the article of the in connection to the graviton.
So are you talking about this?
Because that was the very important thing. In this case, we can unify the cosmos and the elementary particle physics, and I use the term of the fractals, mathematical terms. In this case, Ryan have a better understanding like me, that it can be accepted, in case of the physics, the terminology of the fractals.
Oh, okay.
So can
do you talk about Heisenberg dimension, things like that? Because the fractal, you have the Heisenberg, 2.5 or 2.5. Do you say, how do you calculate the dimension? Is it like a snow, like the coastal line? These things are there. They have something called Heisenberg dimension.
That's quite difficult. You need to do a lot of clustering, and you find the what's it called? Some sort of distance. It's not the Lobachevsky distance. It's the begins with L. I've forgotten the name.
Oh,
and when we will meet in Budapest, perhaps I will try to give personally other thing in this connection. I don't know if it is works, because I don't like to speak about air, because do you know what the region is, because we don't have copyright in this case, and in such a case not so good some term to be announced for public.
All right, you don't have the copyright of your own book, or what?
Not we don't have a copyright in this case. Example, in case of when I did a video one video about the life of that the life exists on the Mars, someone immediately made another video that exists life on the on one moon of the Jupiter. I think that was the Vulcan moon of the Jupiter, and totally he made a video totally science fiction, because has nothing connection in this case, because on the Venus on the Vulcan, if I remember well, it cannot be exist such a life that exists in case of Earth. And today I have put on another question, and if you have luck to find the response, how can operate water on the Earth? Because everywhere we have this description that the Earth life was created in a water medium. That is right. That is okay. But how the water created on the world?
Oh yeah. Well, you could say it came from.
And I will try to find response to myself too, because today I have formulated this question. And if you have something interesting, we can speak about too. And another thing, I have worked a lot in
Laszlo, possibly one thing at a time. I don't know if you want to talk about. Well, first of all, can you see your screen? Yeah. Can you see us? And can you see? I put your paper up. There's the a priori entity. Is that the paper you're talking about? From
I don't know. Excuse me. Repeat the question.
You said that you put a paper up on ResearchGate in late.
Yeah. Yes. This is the a priori entity. Yes. This is a priori entity.
Okay.
And that is what I told you before at the beginning, that this can be connected with the ideal, because the ideal has approached from one side. But in case of the a priori entity, if is built in this concept, example, the space phase of the a priori entity is connected to the ideology, in connection to the ideal, but the core of the core phase is another thing, and nobody have a luck to see directly core of the atom, or core of the sun, or core of the galaxy. But it has as they works have similar physics similar effect. Because they are all electromagnetic property. They have all electromagnetic property, and that's why we can use the term, the mathematic term in case of physics, simple term, the fractalism. Do you understand? Okay. Because the galactic core is a bigger form of the fractal, and another a priori entity which is inside of the galactic system with other stars. It's another form, a smaller form, and we how we come in our dimension. We have the Earth, we have the comet's nucleus. It is very interesting that the comets, it's not considered bodies like rocky planets, because their core have to be similar with our Earth core. As only supposition, as is only hypothesis of my hypothesis. In this case, I can accept that is clear.
That's interesting, but generally they say comets are like dirty ice ball, like they're made of ice mostly and rock. So
if you observe that the comets, all comets, they have spheric form.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you understand? Spheric form. But in case of asteroids, that they looks like a simple rocks.
Okay, I didn't know that.
And that was the problem, and that is a very good proof for the planetary erosion, because this in quote, these rocks was formed only on the planetary system, on a planetary surface. They get out from the planetary surface. In this case, the Tom van Flandern, with his hypothesis of rocky planet eruption, it's somewhat close to the planetary erosion, because this type of the phenomenon in case of Tom van Flandern is similar of planetary erosion, because is a rapid planetary erosion, and such a problems exist in geology, because the volcanic eruption is not mentioned in literature like a phenomenon of alteration of erosion, because volcanic phenomenon is same of phenomenon of the erosion of the Earth.
Yeah. So I'll just
do you understand?
I'll just push back on your theory, because I know you're saying it's a conjectural, right? So, but my understanding is, you know, a number of years back, the NASA, I think it was, landed a probe on a comet, and it fell into a big gorge. And my understanding was that it wasn't spherical. It was like it was similar to an asteroid. It was all rocky and it was bumpy. So, but I don't think that, you know, so it sounds like you're saying that you have a planet and then over time it erodes and becomes a comet. Is that right? Okay, so
and Christopher, one thing, you are young. One thing you have to understand: you have everything. You have to verify personally. Well, I told you. I promised it. I promised you that I will bring with me also the measurements made in China. It's very simple. It's very simple. And they contact such a information, which perhaps if we can reproduce again with it in this case example, Newton gravitational theory has problems, and also some principle of the dynamics.
Well, this is fine, Lazo. I'm not arguing about your main theory. I'm just saying that we do have like observed evidence of the surface of a comet, and it's not a sphere, but I don't really want to go there. But so the other thing is, I wouldn't worry too much about copyright infringement, right? So like if you have an idea you want to and you want to present it here, I would just go ahead and present it. If someone steals your idea and we can just say, well, this idea was originally Laszlo's, and so in terms of copyright, I wouldn't worry about it. Also, you own the rights to all your ideas that you put on here. So like myself and Rajan or anyone else, we can't like take your idea and say it's ours or anything. It's the attribution goes to you, and that's just the end of the story. So if you don't share your ideas here like properly, then no one's going to know what the idea is, so so that's important. But on the other point then about where did all the water come from, I think the consensus view is that it probably came from comet impacts with the Earth. Now that might not be the case, because then you could ask, well, where did all the water come from the comets, But there's another more, how do you say, well, it's not related to the consensus point of view, but it's an alternative hypothesis that the Earth was originally basically a desert planet. Like it had oceans, but they were much smaller. And then this theory I heard from a guy, a Northern Irish man who's also half Indian, called Michael Tessarian. Now, I don't know if he came up with the idea, but I think he put a lot of pieces together perhaps to formulate this idea. And so his concept is there was a 9th or 10th planet, if you like, depending on how you count them, 9th or 10th planet called Tiamat, and that was in orbit between Mars and Jupiter. And then it got destroyed, and it was a complete water world, yeah? And it got destroyed by some event. And then periodically anyway, all of that stuff rained down on the Earth and formed all the oceans. And he came up with an interesting concept. You know how there's a phenomenon of fish raining down from the skies for no apparent reason, and nobody knows where they came from? His theory is that they're actually, the way that the planet was destroyed, like it was teeming with life, and the way it was destroyed, they got like flash frozen into these blocks of ice in such a way that they basically preserved but also remained alive somehow. It's a bit odd, but and then they come along and they defrost in the atmosphere and then fall to the ground. And so that's, like he's saying, that's where a lot of the life forms on the Earth came from. So it's a bit out there. It's probably, I think it's more, it seems to me more of a esoteric kind of secret society alternative history of the universe rather than maybe like a full-on scientific explanation, but certainly of where life came from and that kind of thing. But it's still interesting, and it may have some validity in some way. So that was just it. So you had another point you were going to make, Laszlo, were you? Or before we sign off? Rajan, you're typing away furiously there. Are you still working?
No, I'm trying to. No, I have a outline for yours. I'm typing to get phone number. I'm trying to find the phone number so I can invite them. I cannot find yours, Laszlo. So I'm sending you a message in ResearchGate. I send a message to Gerd to give me his phone number.
I have had not exactly before 2 weeks ago. I mentioned my woman colleague. Now, before 2 days, I call him. I call she, and her, and she doesn't get the telephone number. She doesn't get the telephone. I don't know. I don't know what is happening because all who has connected and the majority who is in officials, he doesn't like to connect with outsider. Doesn't like. That is very, very big problems. I don't know how is it at you, but in Hungary is very, very big problems. I am not between the faculty members of the. I am work on the faculty, and that's why they don't like to connect. I will try to.
No. I'm just saying your phone number. Your phone number, so I can add for.
I will try. I will get this phone for this phone number, and I will write you down. Okay.
Okay. I send a message. ResearchGate. I send a message.
Okay. On the ResearchGate, I will send you. Okay. And
thank you.
And I don't know. I want to do another form of the taking a connection with sending a letter by post in such a recommendation letter, and in this case they have to respond to the letter. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean they will see it is. I have found that.
Example, in case of in case of last week, I wanted to send a letter for the Hungarian Academy by only with such a letter. I will try one letter, but this is very hard. And one thing is very important, that because I am geologist, every time I am going everywhere, I am interested with the outside of the cities, the mountains, rivers, and outside. You have to describe what is your interest, what do you like, what you prefer to see.
Okay, we want to see science museum. We want to see art museum. We want to see if there is any history or something. Then the science technology center, if you have observatory, if you have any observatory.
That was my desire to go in Sopron, because that is not so far from Budapest, and that is connection to the Christopher works, and same is important for me, because perhaps I have such things. If I go in there, perhaps I have luck to get inspiration. If I am going inside to their station, in case of Hunren.
Also like lakes, mountains, like geologic, landscapes. Normally we go if there are like springs, special things, that we can visit, or main location, like buildings, like the main, like a staple or old caves, or castles. They may have castle, so we can, those kinds of things. We can find that, and that's in Hungary or just outside Hungary. But then we have to find about CERN and other things. Just go outside Hungary also. But inside Hungary, in Budapest itself, there are places like a planetarium or special type of thing that's important for tourists. and as well as the university. The university campus. If we can go there, that will be good. That we get more knowledge. In terms of the landscape as well as the science and technology that's available inside Budapest or the Hungary, the larger Hungarian area. I think I mean, there is a person who did the Rubik's Cube, right? I don't know whether it is. The Rubik's Cube was I think he was an Hungarian. So they may have special things associated with that thing. So those kinds of things.
And I would like to ask something in connection to the lightning. The problem is very, very, very. I have a problem because when I begin to write down and how I am near to finish it, the problem is that the information which we have in majority case is false information because the example ball lightning was created by Chinese, and it was created by Japanese, and totally have the tools, and then I don't know what to make, because I have my original idea without have information about them, but they didn't use the theory similar with the a priori entity, because do you understand? In case with this term, it can be answered the creation of ball lightning very easily, and but they have described all laboratory results like are different phenomena, but the phenomena is similar. Every case they have made ball lightning. If in approximately in quantum level, near the quantum level, and in case of micro shooter, I don't know how to pronounce now. Micro shooter, do you know where we hot our food? There was I have made micro shooter. No, and and what do you think? What can I make? I will write. I will write it. How can do? How I concept it? Because that in this case it has natural something new. If I use their information, and I won't connect all results of what have achieved in laboratory, and I have worked outside in my free time lot last week, and I am near ready. But now I have stuck with the phenomenon of lightning, because I wanted to make an instrument which can be demonstrated that the lightning effect, gravitational field of the Earth in his nerve. And exact today, before this meeting, I studied some describing about it, and they had totally exist the instruments which can be created. We can get lightning, and can we make bigger ball lightnings? Everything exists, and exists the conception too. Do you have any information that someone made ball lightning in natural condition?
I don't.
In case, excuse me, in case of Chinese, I am sure that they have made it. When he described the lightning before, I think 11 years, that was created by them. That didn't was natural. In condition outside, in condition in outside of the in northwest of China.
Well, there's a lot of plasma science people, so they possibly have generated it. I don't know if you need to go all the way to China to find that. I mean, they're only, yeah, but they could have done so. There's no reason why they couldn't have. But I'd say that kind of work has been going on for a long time in the West, so it'd probably be easier to find something like that, like among the plasma scientists, probably going back decades, you know, like long before China embarked on its scientific stuff.
Yeah. Ryan, if you can, this picture sent to me, because that in case I didn't need copyright, and I did not have to work for this, because it's good.
What picture? The one that you're looking at?
What is now on a screen?
That's me. I didn't know I was sharing this. I thought I was just.
I can copy from it too. I can do it from it, because it is here in before my eyes, and I think I will use it. Okay.
Well, yeah. So I was thinking, since I am sharing this, I might as well explain it. Will I? I'll explain the idea, because I was working on concepts similar. Well, it just came to me. So here we have a negatively charged cloud and a positively charged Earth, and then you have the bolt of lightning going to the surface.
Christopher.
Yes.
I can interrupt you.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Because there you have to read my book, my article, what I made with the American co-author, and there is well explained this situation. That is caused. I will make you another draw with my interpretation. Okay.
Sure.
And as that is in connection with the Earth core, because because in case of Earth core, that is has negative potential, and positive potential is inside the solid core in quotation, because that is the mainstream Earth concept. I think is not so good, because they are telling us that is the ferro nickel core, the Earth. That is not. It have to be a plasma, something similar with the sun.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Well, the sun itself could be liquid.
And in such a case, we can build your image, what you made before us now.
Okay. Right. Well, so I'll just explain the concept because I was
okay. Explain. Excuse me for interruption.
No, it's fine. So this is very conjectural, but you know, so there'd be different concepts involved, which might not be totally correct. It was just sort of a bolt of inspiration, if you like, a bolt of lightning that came to me just the other day while I was considering your research into ball lightning, and I thought, well, how could we maybe describe this in some way? So here's a negatively charged cloud with the positively charged Earth, and the bolts goes from the negative to the positive. I believe that's correct. Now, there's also these things called, I'll write it in here if I can. Oh, that's the wrong size. I believe these are called sprites. Oh, I can't write on this mouse trackpad. Sprites. I can't dot my I's. But you get the idea there. Anyway, so this is a positively charged cloud, and then we imagine space is kind of negatively charged. That's the moon, the stars. And so the sprites are electric bolts that go upwards out from the Earth into space, and they can be even larger than bolts of lightning that hit the ground, many times larger. So now let's say that we have, you know, you could have a negatively charged cloud here and a positively charged cloud here, let's say. And then, now this is where it gets a bit conjectural, because I'm assuming that this is possible to have these nearby or one above the other. And then we go back and get our pen here. And so let's say this cloud is going to discharge down towards the ground. It's finding its leader down towards the ground. And this one is going to discharge up into space. But it's going to discharge through this cloud. And then what it does is it connects with the start of this, and this one then connects with the end of that. And it forms this loop. And so then we have a loop of lightning in a sense. And then that's the purpose of this image then, is to say, right, we have this torus of lightning, and then it gets tighter and tighter and overlaps and turns into like a ball of plasma. Or there, that's a better example. So then now it's interlinked in the center, you see? Well, I suppose here it's somehow, even the central interlinking is gone, and it's interlinked around the surface somehow. So Rajan, you have a lot of knowledge on Maxwell's equations and stuff that could help sort of formalize this in a way. So we'd have the ring, this ring forms, and then it gets tighter, and then forms into a ball, and then we will have presumably some sort of charge, you know, profile here. So this is the negatively charged area. This is the positively charged area. And then once our ball lightning forms, and it's the wrong color. It'll get tighter, like up here, and turn into a ball, and then it will move along the contour, and that will determine its path. So it can take different trajectories, and then it could even break out of this and move freely like a ball of plasma around the place. So I don't know if does that idea might.
How does it create a magnetic field? How does it create a magnetic field? So that's what we have to figure out. So they could be moving. One of the ways is that this negative thing and the positive thing could be moving together and then oscillate. In that oscillation, you can create magnetic field, you know?
Right. That's
So
where
they
that's
try
where
to
I think
attract.
your knowledge of this could be very, very useful, you know, in terms of just
Yeah. So we
putting
have to find the gradient. We
yeah,
have to find the gradient of that and the charge number. Then we can plug it into the Maxwell equation, because
great.
Maxwell equation requires the density of charge, the gradient, the curl, and all that thing. You have to put it in there. So we need the density of charge. Then you can use the epsilon dot kind of thing to find B, capital B, which is the field strength. of the magnetic field, and E is the electric field strength. So we can calculate that. We have to know the epsilon value, which means like capacitor, the air. Maybe we can use the air, the value of the air permittivity,
Yeah, I think
permeability, and
that
the
would make
permittivity.
sense because this is atmospheric. But so, do you think that this part of the concept, where the positively charged lightning could reach the node of the negatively charged lightning and vice versa, do you think that's plausible, or is that just ridiculous?
Okay,
Like,
but how do you create? So one thing you have to do literature surveys when the clouds are forming. Are positively charged clouds possible? Are the I don't know whether I know it's a negatively charged default by default. It's a
yeah.
negatively charged. I'm not sure. That's
Well,
something.
yeah, that was my idea here. Like, this could be positively charged when compared to negatively charged space. So that's a good question. Can clouds have different charges? Like, can they be when compared with one another? Could this cloud have more charge than this cloud? Then making wait a second. Wait a second. This one would become negatively charged from the perspective of this cloud, not that it is negatively charged, or what? Yeah, I see what you're saying. So it's about a relationship, like a relativity between the two.
Yeah.
Yes, something that you might be able to answer us, if that makes sense. Okay, go ahead, Laszlo.
And exists another approximation, and I think, excuse me if I am mentioning that is perhaps is better. All clouds have negative charge, but in every cloud the negative charge is have a different concentration. And if exists different concentration, example you have draw with blue color. That is the bigger concentration of the electric negative charge. Yeah. And with red, you have other clouds with a smaller concentration of electric charge and a negative charge. And this case will have similar phenomena like if we have a positive charge.
That's exactly.
Do you understand?
Yeah, that's exactly
because because that is a principle of the nature that it want to get the equilibrium between the clouds.
Yes.
Because when in my concept, when the vapor of the water come from the Earth's surface, they bring with them electric negative charge. How they come in sky and concentrating by the cloud, then will appear this electric negative charge in the clouds free. When they come from the Earth surface, they will be in the water molecule, will be inside. And how they reached the sky, this electric negative charge will appear in the clouds. And that is one source, and exists another source that is come from sun. Because do you know that photoelectric phenomena happening in how I forgot in the Fairview. No, how I can told you.
There was some in China or in Japan, somewhere over.
No. In the clouds. This sun ray, how in the I am tired. Clouds, in the clouds, there will be happen a photoelectric effect too, and will create electric negative charge. And this is play same very important role. And I think that is perhaps I am wrong, but I think is a better explanation for in this situation. In case of the Earth's surface, that is every time has a positive charge, and it depends how the Earth is fractured and what kind of mineral and what kind of soil exists on the Earth's surface. And
well, yeah, I don't know. I mean, the photoelectric effect is about bombarding steel, let's say, with X-rays or a lot of gamma radiation or something, and then
cosmic radiation. Exactly, you have told there.
Photons into threshold has been reached. I'm not sure how that applies here, but that's an interesting prospect. You'd have to flesh it out a bit more. But yeah, just to go back, this is another possible conception of the process where you have a negatively, relatively speaking, negatively charged, positively charged cloud. Wait, let me just finish this point.
Excuse me.
No problem. So instead of them like discharging and meeting to close a circuit, which could happen in a very close range and then generate this loop, you could have maybe a situation where they're further away or they meet at the center and just sort of, I mean, this is probably not a phenomenon that happens, but then so there's like an explosion which turns into a plasma ball, which then travels on its way. That's
I told you that how this circular form are created, into an Japanese literature, I have found totally similar concept, like in case of mine concept. The Japanese guy made in laboratory and described it. And if you are interested, I will send you this article, and I want to mention it in my article too. Great. Because similar.
Similar what?
Similar with my concept that in my concept, that is that the ball lightning is formed in lack of the Earth phase, the light creating lack of in the Earth phase phase, creating, yeah. And that is only, that is a condition can permit to in this structure to have some equilibrium, to have remaining for 1 minute, few seconds. Only in such a situation can exist this possibility, and this in case of the Japanese guy work is totally similar. Totally similar. He mentioned such a phenomenon in case of his creating ball lightning. Do you understand? And if we make a connection, in case I think this explanation can be good. And the very important to create ball lightning artificially, easily. If we can create artificially easily ball lightning, is clear.
Obviously, yeah. Well, yeah, you'd at least have one method. It would be empirical. It might not be the only way of doing it. So that'd be really interesting to see. I don't know if you like the idea that I just presented there. We could work on a paper together with Rajan, and all three of us. I would suggest that you guys write it, and then I will read it.
And if you want, I will. I think I don't want to talk. Perhaps I wish that I will be ready in the next week. Perhaps with this article, but in case of presentation, something I will try. Someone, if connecting to me, to present this work, because you have similar thoughts, and I think we can collaborate it in such a case.
Great. So I will be able to review the text, how it looks. I probably won't be able to do very much in terms of writing it at the present time, because I just have a lot of work to do. So, but I mean, if you guys want to start that, you obviously, Laszlo, you're already kind of working on that, so that's great. I mean, you can just continue and see how it goes.
And only one thing: if you have luck to verify something. Example, before I have mentioned it, that the clouds have similar charge, negative charge, and if we have two battery, example, battery of car, and one battery is very small charge inside. In such a case, we can verify if we have another battery with bigger charge. How is it work, the electricity in such a case? And if it will not work, it seems that that my concept is wrong. Perhaps
your concept of what, of electric charge, just differences?
Only concentration, the electric negative charge concentration differential in between the clouds electric charge concentration. The bigger charge concentration, electric charge concentration, create lightning in direction of the cloud with the smaller concentration of electric negative charge.
Yes, that's my idea. I just put that forward there. Yeah, that'd be interesting to know. I'm just wondering, yeah, because there is obviously an idea. Like if you look at the equations for current and volts and ohms and all of that, you'll notice something a bit odd about them. I mean, we could probably pull them up, but so there was something anyway. I remember asking one of my teachers about it, and because there was a problem to do with division or something in it. But basically, it seems like when a battery is draining, it's not losing any power. It's like replacing the positive with the negative. So that's just how electromagnetism is, you know. So I don't think we need to test that part. That's fundamentally understood.
The battery, what happens is that the chemical energy is converted to electrical energy, essentially.
Right, but we're just talking about the charges, like, you know, from an abstract perspective, just what is the charge in the battery? You know, if it has a positive charge, as it goes down, that becomes a negative charge. So it's not like there's no charge in there. The charge just switches from being positive to negative. So there's always a charge in there. So that's why you can recharge the battery by putting more positive energy in. It's like you're not emptying a reservoir, you're just converting what's in the reservoir into a different type of thing. And that's what those equations tell you, because if we thought of electricity as being an actual substance that depleted, those equations would go to infinity, or, you know, if you actually applied that logic to them, the equations wouldn't work. I'd have to kind of look at that, pull it up later. But yeah, so we got a comment here from Space, who was commenting, I think, on your previous philosophical research, your book that you were talking about earlier, Laszlo. So he says, "Great thinking, Horvath, sir." So I don't. So there's, and I would agree. I'm really impressed with your ideas concerning these the forms and the ideals and all of this. It sounds really interesting and like really. I think you're like a great intellect, Laszlo. You're up there with the great thinkers that have been over the ages. So it's kind of
everything have to verify. Only thinking is good if it is verified. In other case is only a simple idea.
Right, but okay, yeah,
everything have to verify. That is the very important principle. That everything, if we announce, we have to verify it, and in such a case, we can accept.
Yeah, no, it's
and
great.
And in case
that it's a proper. It sounds like a good, well-formed, intellectual sort of concept, and those things are great to listen to and to think about. Even if we can't verify them, there's still there's still food for the mind, and for the soul. They help us along through the darker times, and so that's what I want to say. Thank you. So
I have one question, Christopher. Before I forget, I'm writing the thing. So you have knowledge of Python. What are the languages you know?
Myself?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, JavaScript, that's more of a web kind of thing.
Okay.
It's still a perfectly useful tool.
Your working knowledge of that.
Yeah. Well, yes. So they're very similar in a lot of ways. A lot of these programming languages are fairly similar, and so once you know one, you can just adapt it to another one.
Okay.
But
so
like
Python, JavaScript.
C might be a little bit more higher learning curve. So the other one, so like there's OR basics, which you might actually, I think you would be interested in that one because it's not as intensive as Python, which is very
Visual Basic.
Yeah.
Is it Visual Basic?
No, OR, just the letter R, letter. And then R Basics, I think it's called. Not Visual Basic. That was that a Microsoft, one of their early C-based languages or something. That was great as well, I think. But
R Basics, okay.
That's not really
How
around
about C++?
anymore.
You know C++ very well, right?
C++. That again, I think is kind of web-based sort of stuff. I don't do that. I don't know that one. And I don't know Java, which is also very similar, I think, to C++. And I don't know.
R Basics, Python, JavaScript. These are the main things.
Yeah, I think that's about it. But you'd like OR Basics because it's really, it's very good from a statistical point of view, and you can analyze data. It's more for data analysis. But you can analyze data sets and create nice visualizations, and there's something sort of easier about it because there's a lot of inbuilt functions that you would have to write yourself from scratch using Python, but they're all just there for you. So that's it. I think that's about the extent of my I don't know Haskell or Fortran or any of the really old ones, and I don't use Lisp because it just I don't see the point. It looks interesting, but yeah. And Ruby on Rails and all of this stuff I don't go near. There's another one. Go looks pretty good, but no, actually I'm not going to use
Lisp. They used to. I don't think they use Lisp anymore. Artificial intelligence.
Oh no, some people go on and on about Lisp. They love it. So I don't know what the attraction is.
I knew a little bit Lisp because there was a professor. He was coming there, and then I attended a few, and I had some idea about the contextual aspect.
Yeah.
That you say something, it depends on the context. So the Lisp is able to. It's a nested program. It's like brackets.
Yeah.
So you can increase the loop or decrease the loop.
Yeah, no, it's definitely cool. Like you could do some really good stuff with Lisp, but I just think considering we have like Python and or, and it just doesn't seem as relevant anymore. Then there's Wolfram Mathematica, of course. You can just register with them for the Wolfram or the cloud, you know, and you can start coding on their notebooks there. That's pretty good. But it's a symbolic language or something. It's like it's line by line, you know. You're not creating loops so much, and you're not creating functions. It wouldn't. I don't think it'd be great for a massive project, but it's definitely good from a mathematical point of view and creating good visualizations. And I think there's a lot of code out there already made, and so technical support is definitely provided as well online for that. So I would, yeah. Is there any other ones? Lisp, Fortran. Oh, there's Rust as well. Rust is a big one, but I don't use it either. I think it's kind of like, it's basically like Python, but it's as fast as C. So that's why it's kind of like the best of both worlds, I think. Whereas Python is very easy to use. The syntax is almost like language, they say, but it's quite slow. And or basics is even kind of slower, I think. Like when you get into things like, what's the word? When you get into for loops, it can become really slow on that. So you kind of want to avoid for loops in or. But that's it. That's all I can say. So actually, Laszlo, there's a bit of interference from your speakers or something. I don't know if you have earphones or something that you could wear in future. Just because there's like, and we'll see how that works. Because it's like feedback or something. Or that's my only way. Maybe you could try lowering your volume, but then you might not be able to hear it. So.
No, I don't have anything. I am working in a clothes shop, and today, yes, and today there I have written about the lightning. Lightning. There, majority case. There, I am writing my articles.
Great. So
how the inspiration coming? Because I am working with inspiration.
Great. Yes.
Intuitionally, I am working intuitionally.
Great.
Because I am making question, and I am trying to get answers to them.
Yes, that's the way to work.
On what I have lived and observed in nature, because when I was 2-3 years child, I like it to observe the nature. Every time I observed everything, insects, plants, rocks, everything was interested to observe. But I didn't have luck. I lost my geological job because the book.
Oh yeah, strange one, isn't that? I don't know how that happened. But so you've got are you working at the moment? What time does the shop close at?
That is not my shop. That is not my shop. That is Chinese shop, and that's why I have luck, because it was easy to work them, because they like, they doesn't containing what political view you have and what you have written, and
is it client and Chinese clothes, like traditional Chinese?
They are very close. They are very close and very how can I told you? Majority case they are wisdom.
Is it like silk clothes?
And never never show you the exactly true. They every time gives you an false explanation.
What is this now?
But seems correct to the reality, and that is the case in the Occident explanation too. I have observed this. That is why I told you, everything you see everywhere, you have to take it with a big critics. Do you understand? You will feel inside if something is not correct.
Sure.
You such a inspiration immediately appear in case when you get false information, because somewhat it is against your realistic feeling. Do you understand?
Yeah.
When you meet with a false information, in such a case, immediately something appear in your inside in your mind. Such a case exists even when in a shop coming example some person and want to steal something.
Yeah.
Then you are looking to them, immediately you know that you have to be very careful. That is in all cases works.
Well, true, but I mean,
sometimes and that was in case when I was child, in case of math, when explained by the teachers, and I felt that I don't know, and in case of physics too, then when I didn't know why don't can understand it, and now I know, because what was taught in the school somewhat is not has that it doesn't has clear explanation, is a somewhat false explanation.
Yeah, maybe it's not an explanation at all in some cases, you know.
And you will, and that is why you have to be careful with the plate tectonics. You in case of to get the PhD diploma, you have to work how is query by the institute that you have to accept plate tectonics, but the plate tectonics is somewhat wrong theory, has good parts, it's okay, but the problems that the plates with the maximum plates you have to accept with the minor plates. If you accept plate tectonics in case of minor plates, you will get a better form. When we will on the meeting, we can observe with the apple and with the orange that the subduction theory is totally false. When before 20 years, and when I wrote the planetary erosion, I accepted plate tectonics, and somewhat existed contradiction. Only the planetary erosion changed this opinion that don't accept the plate tectonics. Do you understand? That every theory with which is very fixed, that is not good. The nature doesn't work with fixed count with fixed terms. The nature counts with all possibilities what it has. Do you understand?
Well, yeah. So
every phenomena, every guy, everything not is similar. Something is difference between them.
Hmm.
When you use the math one, but example when we use one elephant with one mouse, exists big difference between them.
Yes.
And similar, they are mammals and animals.
That's
Do
true.
you know? See,
Yeah.
same things, and that is why I told you that the comets and the Earth-like planets have to be similar, but we have to verify it. Everything we don't need to accept that if we didn't verify it.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'd agree with you there on that front, Laszlo. That the comets have a molten core. I mean, maybe, but it's just kind of goes. I mean, it's an interesting concept, but I don't know. I mean, I can see where you're coming from, but I'm not entirely sure if I'd agree that the Earth has a plasma core either. In fact, I'm kind of drifting more towards the idea that the sun might be a liquid. That sounds more.
Let's imagine these things in case of atoms. Example, hydrogen atom.
Yeah.
Hydrogen atom dimension and the uranium atom dimension is very different.
True.
Do you understand? If we count with this atom size, we can get similar situation in case of the Earth's dimension and the comet's dimension. And similar thing it is in case of our moon. I don't know that our moon is why it doesn't consider it like a planet, because the moon is a planet, rocky planet.
Yeah, well, it's just because it's in orbit around the Earth.
It is a twin planets from Earth, and I think that the sun, the Darwin sun, has right had right when he mentioned that the moon is from the Earth.
Well,
he had this conception.
Well, yeah. I mean, no, it is interesting. It could have been captured though, but I think there's evidence that it might have been the result of a collision, and then, but I don't know how accurate that is. I just don't have. I haven't studied it, I guess, to know entirely what's the correct solution to that. But yeah, what's your opinion about? Have you heard about this theory about the expanding Earth? I think it is. So, it's a plate tectonic idea that the Earth was once much smaller, and then it begins to grow in size, and so there's no
example in case of the Earth. We have to accept the expanding Earth theory, but but not the exaggerated Earth expanding theory. We have had the Egyet, the Hungarian geophysicist, who mentioned a very good expanding Earth theory, and he is mentioned in the mondial literature too.
Well, I think that's a great idea. It's like one of these kind of paradigm shifting ideas. No one thought about it before. But I like the fact that it had some prediction, like that there would be no. Well, it had the idea that there's no such thing as subduction, obviously, in the expanding Earth theory. Which I think is also true of your work. You don't believe in subduction either, but for different reasons, to do with density or something.
There, in case of the when we will meet, I will show how such a case works. What is happening in case of the ocean and in case of volcanic activity. That is produce such a things, such a condition that happening in case such a moving on the crust of Earth, and that is why I mentioned that in case if we have micro plates using, in case of in such a case, the plate tectonics works well. Do you understand? And in such a case can be explained the data used for proving the Earth, the plate tectonics. When I was on the plane, which came back from China, and monitored the maps of the plane, there was clear that in case of the Atlantic Ocean can be refuted the plate tectonics, and I think can be refuted same the Wegener theory.
But you don't fly
The
over
Wegener theory, drift theory, same is not is doesn't works. When he invented this theory, in that time the opponents, his opponents had a correct imaging, and in case of Wegener, the fossils which he's argumented his theory, it can be explained other ways.
Well,
do you understand?
Rajan, do you know Wegener's theory about plate tectonics?
Yeah, I kind of know how plate tectonics, how it the magnetic thing. I was initially interested in that. I kind of caught it in probably I caught it. I'm not sure in one of the
Ryan,
papers.
Excuse me, but I told that this have to verify yourself. This information, what you get from if I have if I have clear proof in some case that the subduction concept is wrong, and it was accepted in case of plate Earth. Christopher, the plate subduction was accepted with the plate map.
Tectonics, yeah.
Who worked out the subduction concept, used the plate map. Plate map.
What's a plate map?
Such a map.
A plane.
Plane, oh, excuse me. Plane map. And I have luck. I made a prediction that they made. They used such a map, and I have luck that I found this article, which proves that my prediction was good.
Well, I don't know. You see, it's difficult for me. I'm not sure about Rajan, but to to say like whether you're right or wrong, because we're not seeing any of the data to really comment on that, which is unfortunate. But maybe when we meet up, you can show me that stuff. Another thing that I was a bit confused about is you mentioned flying back from China, that you went over you mentioned the Atlantic Ocean, but you don't fly over the Atlantic Ocean, right? If you go from China to Hungary, for example, you're not going to fly over the Atlantic. Did you fly over the Atlantic?
That was my aim. Only I went to China. I didn't want to go in China, but I went to China to test the gravity theory.
Well, why did you?
That was the main cause that I go in China, because there was opportunity. And I told I will mention it personally at the meeting without presenting official. I don't want to present in public.
Fair enough. Oh, interesting. Okay, yeah, well, we'll look forward to that. But there was something else. So if you have this theory of like, or you agree that the Earth can grow, it can expand, and then obviously you have the idea of planetary erosion, which means that the Earth is going to shrink. So this goes back to your idea of creation and then dissipation, yeah? So you think that the Earth is like a living system?
I will repeat. I will rewrite this article on the presentation, because that was written before approximately 20 years, and it has some mistakes. Some mistakes in it.
I'm just asking a very straightforward question about your theory. You believe that the Earth's growing, and you believe that it can disintegrate. Yes. So that's correct. Yes or no? Is that correct? Okay, you don't understand me. I think you do understand me. You're saying yes. That's fine. So how does the Earth disintegrate, and how long do we have left? I mean, should we be worried? Should we be getting our stuff and getting out of here? What's going on? You don't know. Do you have a timeline? When is the Earth going to disintegrate, Laszlo? That's all I'm asking. Rajan, do you know?
I am tired.
I mean, I'm speaking.
Yeah, I'm analyzing the time loop. I came up with something after continuing with my thing. I was talking to somebody. The question of disaggregation did occur to me. I came up with the following. We had to do research on this one. Remember we were talking about prime factorization, the magic square, things like that. And I did a fundamental thing in one or 3 or 4 papers. I had shown how the zero matrix can become, because of the magic square, because of the symmetry, it can create entities. Okay, so what happens is there are two things. There's a local symmetry. Locally creates a pattern. So this pattern initially magic square, and it tries to form symmetry, right? Globally also it does a similar thing, but the global and the local thing doesn't match. So I'll call it pattern symmetry, very similar to CPT program or PT symmetry type thing. Very similar, but this is more advanced, I think. So what happens is, so it tries to factorize such a way that it can finally create a symmetry. So suppose it creates a symmetry at the local level, right? It doesn't have a global symmetry. So then it tries to do global symmetry, and in that process upsets the local symmetry. You see that? So it switches back and forth. And I think we can prove this. So what happens is, so it tries to do a local pattern symmetry, but globally it gets upset. Now it will try to do the global, because there's enough energy to drive that process. It will try to do the global pattern symmetry, but then it upsets the local one. So eventually it creates lot of defects, lot of the dynamics that it creates, and like the fractals and things like that it forms locally, as well as then try to do the local. So how does it go on? So I think when I calculate, it's very similar to the half-life and everything, right? Of the radioactive things, carbon-14 and everything. It's kind of very similar. You can, I think you should be able to simulate Monte Carlo simulation of this one. You have to put in the whole physics and the math, a little bit math to do that. What happens is that when I estimated that, we are about less than halfway through that process from the creation, from wherever it started, like a superluminar condensate, whatever.
Oh, okay.
So it started from there. So assuming that there was such an origin, which could be changed,
Right.
like I said, Sabina Hossenfield talks about how to change the constants. So you start with a
Yeah.
constant, so it will, and then it try to. So use that information that it had a very low. The constants were not constants, so it's variable. Then it became constant. So that gives us a range, a time range, and we plug it in for this process. Then we can evaluate how far we have come on this scale. So my rough estimate is that we are less than halfway through. So which means that we are still. So
Interesting.
in that process, what happens to Earth? It's applied to Earth.
Yeah.
What's going on with Earth is that, like I said, the time loop is connected 80 years, connected to the Halley's Comet.
Right.
So the next time Halley's Comet comes around,
Yeah.
you will have a total different pattern symmetry developing.
Right. You know what that reminds me of, actually, Rajan, is have you heard of The Fourth Wave, that book?
Fourth wave?
I think it's called The Fourth Wave, and it's about is it about history repeating itself in terms of the US? Is this in terms of US history, that the US kind of goes through this 80-year phase where it kind of it begins and then it sort of breaks apart and then it starts again, and it goes through a period of like dissolution and rebellion, in a sense, or whatever, sort of. So I think I have the name right. I might have it wrong though. I'll just check it out myself, because there's another book called The Fourth Wave, which is not, or there's another book that I'm getting it mixed up with. So maybe The Fourth Wave is the wrong name. Maybe it's U.S. History Wave. Oh, somebody out there knows what I'm talking about, but I have forgotten what it is. So I'm going to have to look that up and send it on to you. But it's something like that. The something wave. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Sorry about that. I thought I had it, but I have it. I owned a book at home called The Fourth Wave, and that's why I'm getting confused. But I think this book was called something else. Maybe it was The Fourth something. And it's a really famous book. I've heard people talk about it before. And I recently watched a YouTube video on it of this woman, and she gave a quite a good review about it. And that's kind of the first time I had it explained to me as a fully in a very comprehensive way, as opposed to just, because like this book would have come out in the 70s, I think, and it was a really big deal. So a lot of people read it in the US, and it got very popular. So everyone kind of, when I was growing up, everyone already knew about it. They'd already talked it to death. So nobody really kind of explained it. So it would just be mentioned in passing. Probably definitely Wave anyway. There's a couple of books like that in the past that were like similar. No, I don't see it, unfortunately. So,
okay.
But yeah, that's interesting that you think that we're about halfway through, because that was a similar kind of conclusion that I came to when I was looking at the distributions of galaxy in the Sloan Digital Sky Survey. Do you remember I did?
Oh yeah, for the ohm, right? Now you changed it. Yeah.
A little bit. Yeah, it was. It was related to the ohm work as well, because remember we had, you know, when I used the artificial intelligence sort of in painting, and then basically you could see the galaxies were getting more compressed in one area, which was the great attractor, and then on the other side they're getting like more spaced out. It was like this giant void essentially. And Laszlo's dropped out. He's back there.
Oh,
so
he may come back.
Yeah, got you. So
yeah, he's coming back.
It gone out. My fault.
No problem. So so the great attractor was squashing things together, and then on the other side of the imputation, we found like a void stretching out, which is like, I've forgotten what I call. Oh, the great repeller or something like that. I called it or something.
Oh.
So anyway,
you have the attractor, the what you call the axis of evil and all that thing, right?
No, this is different. Because so basically, when we look out into space, into the universe, you know, we have how to say this. The Milky Way stretches across the sky at a sort of an angle, and we cannot see beyond the dust and stars in that area. So all the information we get is blocked out in that portion of the sky. But behind one of the spiral arms of the Milky Way, they have this concept that there's something called the great attractor, which is pulling all of the stars or all the galaxies in the universe towards it. And so basically, I created an artificial neural network model which just filled in the gaps in the sky, and I used in painting as well, and it consistently recreated the great attractor, so this blob of galaxies, and it also consistently on the other side of the galaxy created this void, a huge void. So my thinking was that there was some sort of something pulling all the galaxies towards it, and leaving half the universe empty, you know, or like not half, but a portion. And that if you were to run the universe forward in time, everything would just be sucked over into that point. But as you know, in my theory of the the theory that I created, whose name I keep forgetting, you know, it was the Marangoni catastrophe.
Oh yeah.
So in that, you know, a small amount of surfactant space, a different kind of space, is introduced into the universe, and that causes a rapid expansion, mass transfer across the surface of the universe. Laszlo dropped out again. Let's see if he's back. He is. Okay. You keep missing the points that I'm making. I can't go back over them, though. They're a little bit too technical. Right. So when that happens, it's going to push all of the galaxies, and they're all going to into this sphere, which is then kind of going to move forward and destroy the Earth and stuff. But that's so what's happening then is, but that will only take place once this surfactant space is introduced into our universe, which cannot happen by accident. It will have to be a deliberate act because it doesn't exist in our universe. So it would have to be imported into it in some sense. So that's the right term. So, but once that, so it seems like the total distribution of galaxies at the moment is just an arrow pointing towards this event that will occur. But initially, I thought it was that we were halfway through the rotation of the hypersphere, and that was so. So if the hypersphere was perfectly centered at 180 degrees, then all the galaxies would just be uniformly distributed. But because it's rotating, they get squashed over. And then if you rotate it completely, they would completely collapse into a ball again at the center. But I don't think that's correct anymore. So, and why don't I think that? Yeah, there was some reason anyway. I'm sure it's in one of the videos, but oh yeah, pretty much probably because the Marangoni catastrophe. It's not going to be a slow event that's going to take hundreds of millions of years. It will be very rapid. I think I calculated it within a couple of hours, but all of those calculations are based on measurements, estimated measurements of the hypersphere, and we cannot be certain of those at the moment. So I'm going to have to redo them when we get a better certainty of the radius. Okay, so Laszlo dropped out. He said his cell phone's not working. Probably lost battery power.
I'm almost sending you a recommendation. I am almost ready. So I just want to ensure.
Thanks a million.
I finished everything, just a matter of uploading it now.
Oh, that's terrific. So that took you a while. That wasn't, or did it? Was that a lot of work? Or?
Well, I rephrased some of it. I don't know whether you want to see. But also I had to, see, I send it, but they need a separate recommendation letter. So so I have put your recommendation letter. I can briefly
well,
show
we'll end
you.
the live stream here then, because that's 3 hours. That's twice as long as I was expecting. So
anyway, I'm sending that. Yeah. Okay. So I have created a